Greetings. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I did get a haircut. Yes.
I feel amazing.
Welcome to another week in my chaotic life. We're going to be experimenting with fluid acrylics. I don't think I've ever truly played with fluid acrylics. So we're gonna see what happens today. That is a whole canvas worth of paint.
Disgusting!
Now, I bet you're wondering why I decided to go ham on fluid acrylics today. And that's because I'm balls deep into my latest creative adventure, being an art student at the Milan Art Institute, an online art school where I'm learning everything from drawing and oil painting to mixed media techniques. We have lots of homework, 2 of which I am tackling this week. The first, create a complete painting using inks and fluid acrylics. Second, create a painting using mark making, which you'll see later in this video. Both are very messy and require plenty of patience. And that's a good thing. See, the first phase of the creation process is always, let's be real, it's the freaking worst. Why? Because of that big, blank, white space staring at your bewildered face. Yes, I'm referring to the blank white canvas. While benign in appearance, a blank white canvas is so ripe with possibility, it completely drowns its victim with self-doubt, paralyzing them completely, or worse, making them quit the painting gig altogether. That's sad. So, what can you do to fight this overwhelming sense of dread a stark white canvas bestows to you? Well, to put it very simply, you say "f it" and proceed to violate the canvas with lots of color without much rhyme or reason. That's it. So to celebrate my season of not giving an F, I'm painting 2 jellyfish. We'll call them Marta and Mina, floating majestically in the water. Recently, I went to an aquarium with my kids, and I could not pull myself away from the jellyfish tank. Because watching these little guys gracefully move through the water with their flowy plumage of tentacles is nothing short of mesmerizing. It gets me every time. And it's so crazy to think that a jellyfish, a creature that is literally brainless, heartless, boneless, and spineless, can navigate their way in the ocean landscape, eat fish, float like freaking goddesses, and pack one hell of a sting if they're disturbed. Bad ass behavior. Mina and Marta have known each other their entire lives, having grown up in the same polyp colony as little planula larvae. And when it was time to finally swim away and become their own adult jellyfish selves, Marta and Mina had their own plans. They decided to stick together. 2 sisters who dedicate their life to just sharing the same ocean, moving gently with every current. Although they may not live to be more than 4 or 5 years old, they know they will always have one another in this big, deep world. Next on the docket is painting number 2, mark making. Mark making is basically what I like to call scribbling and random lines made with any medium that you got. Charcoal, wax crayons, pencils, markers, and I even got to test out oil pastels and these absolutely gorgeous water-soluble crayons from Caran d'Ache, and ooh la la mama like. So after messing around on paper for a bit, it was time to move on to a larger watercolor paper surface.
It's huge.
In my opinion, the bigger the canvas, the less restricted I feel. Especially if it meant I could scribble and completely decimate all the evil white space with all the mediums that I got. At first, I'm feeling a little apprehensive and timid, but with each mark, I slowly gain more speed, and gives me all the confidence in not giving an F. Which leads me into my next story. In a quaint little town, not much different than how you and I grew up, there lived a girl named Clara. She was bright and creative, her mind brimming with endless possibilities and dreams as vast as the open sky. Her wild imagination took her on many amazing enchanted places, like castles in the skies and underwater grottos. She imagined herself a queen overseeing her vast kingdom while sitting atop a golden throne, addressing her loyal subjects who clung longingly to her every word, cheering and hooting in her honor. Yet despite her daydreams, Clara knew she would never set foot or even go near any of those incredible places. Those places were not meant for people like her. Someone who constantly mumbled and stumbled over her words, someone who could barely put two words together in a conversation to save her life. Who did she think she was? No. Clara was destined for a life hidden behind a window, staring out at all the ordinary folk, as she liked to call it, who knew how to have normal conversations and go on about the latest town gossip or political drama with such casual ease. Oh, how she envied their ability to simply exist with their words, carry a conversation from point A to B, and then expertly wave goodbye with the eventual conclusion. They made it look so easy. Although Clara could write and speak as well as any person her age, she often found herself crippled by fear. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of falling short of expectations, of being judged by those around her. From a young age, Clara had been taught to strive for perfection, to measure her worth by the approval of others, and she would often find herself at the blunt edge of a ruler as punishment. But as years passed, she realized that no matter how hard she tried, she could never quite meet the impossibly high standards that she had set for herself. So for many years, Clara shut herself off to the world, only sneaking a peek through a tiny window in her bedroom, watching the world live as she wasted her young years away in mental anguish. That is until one stormy night, while Clara lay sleeping by the window, a strong gust of wind threw open the shutters, creating a loud noise that completely stunned the poor girl awake. Confused, and chiding herself for falling asleep at the window again, Clara went to shut the window and lock it. But as she did, she stumbled upon a weathered book on the floor. Clara had never seen this book before, and so, carefully leafing through the pages, she was drawn to the beautiful handwritten calligraphy containing words of wisdom and encouragement. As she turned to the last page, she beheld a devastating sight. It was a detailed drawing that eerily resembled Clara's room, but instead of a young Clara sitting by the window, it depicted an old, haggard woman, sitting alone in a rocking chair with head bent and labored breathing, quietly crying at a precious life that was wasted in regret and fear. This picture hit Clara like a ton of bricks. That old woman was her. That is, it would be her if she didn't make a change. It was at that moment Clara made a decision that would change the course of her life forever. She would dare to step outside and make mistakes, and let her voice be heard, no matter how much it scared her. And with each passing day, she challenged herself to think positively, to see the beauty and potential in every moment, no matter how daunting it may seem. With every passing conversation, with every stumble of her words, Clara began to let go of her fear of making mistakes, embracing the lessons they had to offer rather than allowing them to hold her back. She realized that people didn't judge her as harshly as she thought they would, and in turn she gained the confidence to speak more, to share her thoughts and opinions. She learned to see failure not as a reflection of her worth, but as a stepping stone on the path to growth and self-discovery. With each small victory, Clara felt a newfound sense of confidence and self-assurance blossoming within her, a confidence that radiated from her very being, drawing others to her like moths to a flame. As Clara embraced her genuine self without fear of judgment, she discovered a world rich with possibility and opportunity, a world where her dreams could flourish and her creativity could soar. And though the road ahead was uncertain and fraught with challenges, Clara knew that as long as she remained true to herself, there was nothing that could stand in her way. After all, a life striving to be perfect is really not a life at all.